We are also going to be joined now by Senator Kamala Harris, who's the Democrat from California. Senator Harris, we feel lucky to have you tonight. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Glad to be with you. Thank you.
Not all Democrats attended this speech tonight. A number of Democrats said they stayed away and protested this president and his policies. You decided to attend. You were there in the room. What's your top line response? What did you think?
You know, I think that we all know that the American public right now is full of distrust about its government and its leaders, and we need folks who speak the truth. And I found the truth lacking in the State of the Union tonight. And it's unfortunate. There is so much that needs to be talked about the truth that Americans are experiencing, whether it be their economic truth. The tax bill that was passed is benefiting corporations in the top 1% to the exclusion of working families in this country. I think we need to speak truth about Russia. And of course, there was no mention about the threat that Russia poses to our national security, much less any conversation about what it has already done to interfere with the election of the President of the United States of America. The truth was lacking around a conversation about who is benefiting economically in terms of bonuses and the stock market. We know that 10% of the stocks owned in this country, or 84% of the stocks owned in this country, are owned by 10% of the population. So this whole trickle-down theory, yet again, is a false suggestion to the American public in terms of what they will benefit and how they will benefit economically. So I found the truth lacking in many respects in this State of the Union.
You mentioned that the president did not talk about Russia and their interference in the election, nor was there any direct reference to the scandal and the investigation, the investigations that are happening in Congress and the one being led by Robert Mueller. There was a line tonight that some people are interpreting as perhaps having been an oblique reference to that, especially given the concerns around obstruction of justice, the recent firings we've seen, retirements that we've seen at the FBI. The president tonight said, "I call on Congress to empower every cabinet secretary with the authority to reward good workers and to remove federal employees who undermine the public trust or fail the American people." Is that reference to a mainstream policy concern, or is
I don't know. I was walking the hall and someone said, "Is that a reference to impeachment?" I don't know what that was a reference to.
All right.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Let me also ask you, Senator, about the government. The government shutdown. We are in this unusual situation where this is the president's first State of the Union. He marked his one-year anniversary in office with a government shutdown that only ended 8 days ago. 9 days from now, there's the prospect that the government will shut down again if there isn't an agreement to keep it funded. Did you hear anything tonight that makes it seem more likely that the government will be kept open, that there will be some sort of agreement on immigration and these other impasse issues?
Well, you know, Rachel, I listened to the words that were spoken in the State of the Union, but I have to listen to them in the context of what I've witnessed and what we've all witnessed in terms of the conduct and actions of this administration over the course of the last year. And I'm having a difficult time, frankly, reconciling the words spoken with the actions of this administration. This president said that he would support DACA recipients and that he would support them in terms of the need that we should all feel to protect them and to keep our promise. But he has not done that. There have been several attempts to meet in a bipartisan way to actually reach some kind of compromise, and that has not happened. I will also say that on this issue about the government shutdown, I really do believe it's been presented as a false choice. We need to keep the government running, and we need to protect these DACA recipients, and we can do both.
Hey, Senator, it's Brian. What steels you for the next fight in 9 days? It may be 8 days by now, with the next shutdown looming, with a lot of people calling for a so-called clean DACA bill?
Yeah. Brian, you know, I have been talking with my colleagues, Democrats and Republicans, and I truly believe there is a sincere desire on behalf of a bipartisan coalition of senators to actually do what we can and need to do to protect the DACA recipients, the Dreamers. And I am still hopeful that that is achievable. But what the president has articulated around these 4 points, it goes far beyond that need and desire that we have to take care of DACA recipients. He's now bringing up issues like family reunification, which he uses this pejorative chain migration to describe. We need to not put the diversity visas on the issue as part of protecting the Dreamers, but he is now apparently making that a condition of doing that. And so I don't know where we're going to end up when he keeps putting other things on the plate. Let's just protect the DACA recipients. Let's keep our promise to them. Let's also remember something I think that is critical in this discussion. This administration arbitrarily made a decision to rescind DACA, arbitrarily decided on September 5th that it would be implemented with a due date of March 5th, meaning that if nothing is resolved by March 5th, they're going to be deported. This administration brought this issue upon itself, frankly. And we are failing to keep our promise to these young people, and I think it is imperative that we do that. And essentially, I believe that's what this issue comes down to. Let's keep our promise to these young people. We told them if you are vetted, which they all were, and you cleared the vet, which they were, which is why they were recipients of DACA, we told them that we will not deport them. Let's keep our promise to them.
Senator, were you shocked that the president introduced the discussion in a country of immigrants on immigration on MS-13? That's how he began the conversation tonight. Your thoughts?
You're absolutely correct. And you know, we've talked about this before. I'm a career prosecutor. I have personally prosecuted everything from low-level offenses to homicides. As the Attorney General of California, one of my main areas of focus was going after transnational criminal organizations who are engaged in trafficking guns, drugs, and human beings. MS-13 is an example of some of the worst of criminal gang behavior. To equate that with Dreamers and DACA was completely irresponsible, and it was scapegoating, and it was fear-mongering, and it was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong technically in terms of the nature and character of these populations, and in terms of the difference in terms of who they are and how they live their lives. And it was wrong because that's not what leaders are supposed to do. We're not supposed to convince the American public of policy because we make them afraid. And that's what this president apparently thinks he needs to do, and it's irresponsible.
Senator Kamala Harris of California, thank you for joining us. I know it's been a late night, Senator. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Much
you all.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.